This morning, a Florida man faces a possible 60-year prison sentence. Michael Dunn was found guilty on Saturday on 3 counts of attempted murder after opening fire on a group of Jacksonville teenagers in an SUV. The 2012 shooting happened during an argument over loud music. 17-year-old Jordan Davis died that day. Davis was black, so are his friends. Michael Dunn is white. The jury could not agree on the most serious charge, first-degree murder.
We're so very happy to have just a little bit of closure. And we will continue to stand, and we will continue to wait for justice for Jordan.
CBS News legal analyst Jack Ford joins us at the table. Jack, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you.
A lot of people very confused by this verdict. Can you explain?
Yeah, it sounds confusing, but it might not be, because the question is it inconsistent for him to be found guilty of the attempted murder and a jury not to be able to resolve the issue of the murder? And the answer is that the attempted murder is very different, according to what the evidence was. The attempted murder was shooting into the car, especially after it's speeding away from him. And there the jury clearly found that he was the aggressor.
Shooting into the car because you feared for his life.
Exactly, because at that point in time, the jurors are saying, well, you didn't have a reason to fear for your life anymore. The car is leaving you.
Yeah.
But the issue, the big issue is the self-defense claim for the shooting that took the life of the one victim here. Because the defense was, I'm acting in self-defense. What you have to understand about that is, and we don't know what the juries are going to say, how close they were to a possible verdict here, but the notion of self-defense in Florida says that if it's reasonable for you under the circumstances to believe that your life is in danger, you can use this type of force. But reasonable doesn't necessarily mean that you were accurate. So in other words, here he's saying, well, he pulled a shotgun on me. And the prosecution is saying there was no gun there. Well, the fact that there wasn't a gun by itself doesn't mean that self-defense can't
and he
work.
Never told
as
his
long as all the
circumstances,
themselves were reasonable. But you're right.
He never told his girlfriend who was in the car with him, I thought I saw a gun.
And the prosecution argued he didn't call the police, he didn't tell his girlfriend, so that should mean that it wasn't reasonable under the circumstances.
The prosecution says it's going to retry the murder charge. Do you think that's likely?
Well, I think so. What happens if you're a prosecutor is this. You look at a retrial in terms of how close were you to getting a conviction in the first place. We'll have to see what the jurors say here. Can you remedy a problem that you had the first time around if you do it a second time around? They'll look at what the feelings are and the emotions of the victim's family. That doesn't control, but it's a factor. They'll also look at whether they need to make a statement here. And then ultimately they'll look at whether or not the sentencing for the other counts will be enough. If they still feel that there's a reason. Is he likely to get 60 years?
He's
probably not 60, Anthony, because I don't think the judge would stack each of them. It was a single event, even though it happened very quickly, but probably about a good chunk, maybe 20 years or so.
All right, Jack Ford. Thank you, Jack.
All right.